Video demonstration. I'm going to show you how to make up the lantern house, which is the new die from the John Next Door collection, JND458. And this die will, when folded together, make you an option of lots of different cards, lots of different boxes. So I'll bring in here, here's one by Terry, where she's made, it almost looks like a New England style house. So you've got this beautiful sort of slate, or you could use it as a thatched roof. You've got the windows, and it's really easy to open it up, and you could have chocolates or sweets or presents in there, or in this case we've got a little tea light in there so that it does light up like a lantern, because all of the windows and doors are open, but you've also got this little stitch detail which cuts all the way through so that light can actually seep through those as well. So it's really easy to put together and not a lot of die cuts. So I'll take you through the dies that we have in the set. Everything I'm using comes exactly from the same set, and there's some more examples on the back of what can be made up using those houses. So the first sort of section you get, there's so much metal in this, is you get the main body of the house. So in this, you get the panel that you need to actually make the main construction. And you'll need to cut this twice, but again, I'll go through that through the video. You'll get the insert die, which is a solid metal insert die, just to give you that beautiful sort of 3-story house. But on here it has detail, so it has detail all the way through, which will just emboss in to give you sort of like almost like festoons underneath the windows. It gives you the window plates, it gives you around the windows. You get the little holes that punch through as well. But both this die and the die that does the side panel, and they're so thick it's very difficult sometimes to get them off the metal, both of these dies will work through your better press and your foiling systems. So if you have one of the old style foiling machines where you just heat the plate, then these will actually foil. And I will show you an example here that I have done with one of the smaller dies from another set. What happens when we actually foil it, all of that detail just foils. But again, you could print that and do other techniques with that. You'll also receive in here one die which will cut out the house. So if you want to make a plate to put that on the front, so if you want to make a plain box and just have a simple plate on the front of the house, you can do that. Or you can use this to make separate folding cards and things like that. And you will also get, there's actually one in here, this section which cuts you the roof, and then you get one piece of the pattern that cut the tiles. And again, this is completely designed to be repeatable, so you could repeat this up and down, so you could actually use that just as a decorative die for your card making as well. So we'll start with how to put the house together and how to put the basics together. So for this, you will need, each house will take 2 sheets of A4 card. You actually won't use all of the card, you will have a good piece left, but you will need 2 pieces of card. And all you would do is, the best thing first is to take your die for the house, simply tape that down to your card, and I would make sure you tape it in 2 or 3 different locations. And you'll notice, because of the way they're done, that after a while your die may start to sort of bow slightly. You can pull it back into shape, it won't affect how it works. It's because it's a fine line die. You run that through your A4 die cutting machine. You will need an A4 die cutting machine, and you will receive a piece just like this. You don't need to emboss it. Every single piece on here, all the lines will be done. So what you need to do now is to actually fold all of the lines, and you need to make sure that all of the flaps that are on here are actually folded before you do the next stage, so you don't lose those lines when it goes back through the machine. Now, all of the lines and all of the flaps in here have been made to 6mm, and this is so that it stays nice and strong, but also so that it fits exactly with the 6mm Craft Artist power tape. So the 6mm Craft Artist power tape is exactly the right size to fit all of these flaps, so you don't have any overhang and you're not worrying about which tape to use. So once you've actually flattened or made all of the folds, simply flatten it back down, and at this point you then want to cut the decorative panels in. So I'm going to take my house front, and you want to place that so that it's an even spacing around the left, right and the bottom. You're not going into the top even, it needs to be right even around this bottom section. And we simply again tape that one on in a couple of places. And I would, if you're using the craft artist tape, make sure you burnish it. It won't stick to the card, it's not a problem. And you simply then take your base plate. Now, to get the base plate in the right direction, where you have the sort of bushes in one direction and the festoons in the other, that is the base. So you simply want to place that down on the base, and you'll notice your windows will all line up in a straight line. So you simply take that, tape it down, and run that through your die cutting machine just like that. Once you've done that, you will then have a piece just like this, and you simply need to remake all of your folds and add the power tape or a decent red line tape onto the flaps. I don't put a flap or glue onto the bottom because I want to open it there. So we would do that and get your tape on each piece, and you need to do that twice to make you your house. So as you can see, your pieces click together like that, and it will simply fold around. So what we need to do next is to cut your roof. So you will take your roof panel just like this, and what I would do, I'm using here, this is the Craft Artist Dove Grey card, but you can use any card you want to. Simply put that down, tape it down, and run that through your machine to make sure, again, you get all the folds and lines together. And you get a perfect piece like this. And at this point, I would turn it onto its back and just fold up these two flaps. Just like that. And make the fold in the centre. So you can see there, if you wanted a plain roof, there it's done. Those are the little sections that will overhang. Just like that. And the section there will tape on the inside if you want to make sure it's well secured. I'll show you when we put the box together. Once you've done that, open it back out, making sure your scallops go in the right way. You would simply tape that down, cut that once on that direction and a second time in that direction to give you the perfect piece like this. Now you can overlap that onto there, but that can sort of create a bit of a fold. So the neatest way that I have found to do this, and I'll show you this, is to take that piece and we cut it in half. So along the fold line that you've been given, simply cut along that fold line into two pieces. I fold over again the little flap section there, and I simply cut that off. It's always a lot easier when you do it rather than when you're showing it. So again, I'll show you the second one. We fold that piece over like that, take your scissors and just cut that off. That then gives you two pieces that can nicely adhere. So I would stick one on to there, matching up the dots to the dots. Fold it in half and stick your other piece on. Once stuck on, that will give you the perfect pitched roof. I'll show you the piece that I've done here. So you can see here, folded in half, I've got the perfect roof with a nice clean crisp edge on the top there. So a little bit of tape onto each side and we can simply start to put our piece together. So I'm going to bring both of my house pieces in, take a pokey tool, and first things first is I connect together two of the houses, matching the pieces exactly to give me that fold there. Before we adhere the house completely together, we just want to remove the tape from each of the roof spires, just simply like that. There we go. And then I'm going to remove the piece of tape from the side, fold it flat, tuck that underneath, and mount those two pieces together. And making sure we get it in the right place. Fold those two pieces exactly together and fold it flat, because obviously this would fold flat if you wanted for postage. And we can then just simply pop it up, pop our little flaps in and our pieces, and there we have the basis of our house. We're now going to attach our roof. So we take our roof, and I'm going to again remove the tape from both pieces. I find it a lot easier to take the tape away first than try and do it when it's in situ. I'm going to slide those sections over there like that, and from the inside I'm just fixing down that roof section. I then meet roof to panel and close, roof to panel and press down, pushing the other two pieces in, roof to panel, roof to panel, and popping my hand inside, make sure all of those little loops are on the outside, and pull down the flap from the inside nice and easily. There we go. So make sure I'll fold that back again. So this is the only sort of fiddly piece. Put those in like that, pull that section down, and you can see there your roof is attached on all four sides. If you wanted to seal it, you would then simply add tape along these two pieces and close those together. But you can do that like that, add a piece of low tack tape for this precise moment, and there we have our 3D lantern house, which can then be decorated for Christmas or any other occasion. I've got a beautiful one here done slightly different way by Carol, where she's put the little gingerbread men onto there. She's made a little gingerbread men house in this sort of lovely clotted cream coloured card with a white roof just stuck on top. But there are lots of different ways that you can actually make this house and things you can do with it, but that's the simple basis of folding it together. For more ideas, hints, tips and inspiration, why not visit the Crafting and John Next Door and Crafts 2 group on Facebook. Enjoy.